What's going on, guys? I'm super excited to be bringing you a banger of a video today. I got the new DJI Osmo 360 mounted on the front of the bike. Got my DJI Action 5 on my helmet. I'm excited because I'm one of the first unbiased, unsponsored riders in the USA to have this camera. And it wasn't easy to find because it's out of stock almost everywhere. But if you do enough digging around, I found out that you can find places where they did put a limited stock in the USA. And I guess they're not expected to have a good supply again till September. So I was pretty fortunate to get this. Over the years on this channel, I do have experience with dealing with 360 footage with my Insta360s. I started off with the original Insta360 camera. I then upgraded to the X2. Didn't do the X3, but I did the X4, which I think was probably, that was a big turning point. That was a really good camera. And then recently I had the Insta360 X5. I've been pretty satisfied with Insta360. So besides riding in this video today, I did get out yesterday to mount the camera, do a couple test videos so I could get used to it before I did this video, so I can give you an honest opinion of what I think of the DJI Osmo 360. One thing I noticed is that the 360 stitch line is not nearly as noticeable on the Osmo 360 as it is on my X5, and that's one of the big complaints I've had with my X5, is that, you know, you can always see kind of where the pole is, but the X5 seemed to have like a diagonal line through the whole footage, and I don't notice that on the Osmo. But I think one of the greatest things I like about the Osmo 360 is how well it integrates with my DJI Mic 2. I don't even need the transmitter anymore. I can just connect my Mic 2 that's in my helmet directly to this, and it works really well. You can still hear the sound of the engine. You can hear my voice really well. So I think it does a much better job than what the Insta360 and the Mic Air do together. It's actually much better, like substantially better. There's no comparison on sound quality. Footage quality wise, I think they're both very similar. There's definitely different color profiles. This has a 10-bit D-Log color profile, which allows me to color correct things a little bit better, so I like that. And then one of the things I thought was going to be a little bit difficult to get used to was, how do you edit the 360 video with the DJI? You know, I got used to how Insta360, how their desktop editor works, so that's kind of how I edit my videos. I use a Mac and I use the desktop editor for Insta360. DJI also offers a desktop editor, and you can do it through an app as well. I just feel like I have more control when I'm using a desktop editor over an app on a phone. But I was really happy when I started using the DJI editor. I actually think that it's better than the Insta360 desktop editor. I mean, it's super easy to use. You can cut pieces out. There's great ways to color correct. So I plan on doing a whole video on the workflow. And what I mean by the workflow is just what happens from the time I turn the camera on and record the video to how do I get the footage off, how do I edit it. 360 video footage is not as easy, or I should say it's more time consuming to edit than it would be just taking like footage out of my action cam on my helmet. Basically, you're taking flat footage and you're cutting it up, splicing it, maybe do some color correction and anything else you want to do, and you're done with it. What I do is I put it on the front of the bike, I hit record, I ride on the bike, and then when I get back, I kind of frame where I need to, what sections I want to have in the frame. And then I export that footage and I put it into Final Cut Pro and do my final edit with it. Just from my first time using the DJI editor, it actually is a lot easier to use. So I'm pretty excited to actually start using this DJI Osmo. What is this? The Osmo 360. There's so many cameras today. We got the Insta360s, now we got the Osmo 360s. So it's an exciting time if you are going to be a moto vlogger and you want to get into 360 footage. Now is a pretty exciting time to get into it. There's great equipment out there that's a little bit expensive, but if you want to invest a little bit of money in something like this, you're going to get some pretty awesome footage out of it. So DJI and Insta360 both are talking about how great their cameras are in low light situations. So I will be getting the bike out in maybe a little bit more of a low light situation in the future to see how it compares there. It does have a 1-inch square sensor, and I guess that basically means, you know, to me it doesn't really matter what the specs say. It matters how it produces footage. From what I'm understanding, though, that the sensor on the DJI is really good for low light. You know, what I'm looking for in a camera is something that's going to give me the best footage and make my workflow as fast as it can be without compromising quality. I don't know if I would have actually tried this camera out so quick if it wasn't for the fact that I haven't been completely satisfied with my Insta360 X5. And really the only issue I have with the X5, I would say two things. The most major thing is the stitch line isn't good, and I calibrated it. I did everything they told me to do to try to fix that, but I still had that weird stitch line I couldn't get rid of that I think the Osmo 360 doesn't have. So that's a big win right there. And also the sound quality of Insta360 just didn't impress me, where the Osmo seems to be better when you match it with a DJI mic system. You might remember this hill. Last year I was coming up over this hill. I was riding with a buddy. I had just put my aftermarket rear sets on this bike, and I didn't use Loctite on my foot peg, and I came right about here. My rear set kind of fell apart, so I couldn't shift it. I couldn't get up the hill. Luckily we found all the parts to it. I put it back together, and when I got back to my house I put Loctite on it. Been good ever since. I want to produce the best quality footage, the best quality content I could get. So that's kind of why I have a passion for, you know, trying some new equipment, trying new cameras out. I want to help you guys that are trying to get into motovlogging, or maybe you're already into it and you're just trying to figure out, you know, what the best stuff is, and hopefully help you guys if you want to get into this kind of thing. I think that you need to have a camera if you're going to get out on any kind of motorcycle. You need to be rolling footage everywhere you go, because you never know what's going to happen, and you want to make sure that if anything, you know, weird happens, you want to make sure you got it on video. And if you're just getting into motorcycle riding and you want to put your stuff on video, don't be afraid to put it on video and put it on YouTube. Put your whole learning process on there. People are craving that kind of content right now. People want to know what it's like to learn how to ride a motorcycle. Man, the bike feels good today. The temperature is really nice today. It isn't like 100 degrees like it was the past few weeks, so I think we're gonna hit like maybe in the 80s today, which isn't bad. The humidity isn't as bad as it has been in the past. So yeah, guys, there's my first video filming with the new DJI Osmo 360. Let me know what you think of the footage. Let me know if you have any questions about the camera. And again, I'm new to it. It's only my first ride with it, so I'll learn a little bit more as I go. I'll keep filming with it, I think. Pretty sure this is going to become my go-to camera. And I think one of the big questions people might have right now is, you know, where do I purchase the Osmo 360 in the USA right now? And that's a hard question for me to answer, because I think everybody's out of stock right now. I think you're going to have to wait probably another month or so. So let's say you're thinking about buying a 360 camera, and you would ask me, you know, do I think you should buy an Insta360 X5, or do I think you should buy the Osmo 360? It's kind of a tough question because the Osmo is new for me, but I will tell you that I personally feel the Osmo 360 is slightly better footage, a much better editor. I think if you're going to do motovlogs and you're going to put a mic in it, you're better off to buy the Osmo and the DJI mic system, like a Mic 2 or a Mic Mini like what I have. But if Insta would do a firmware update where they could fix their stitch line and they could fix their audio issue, I think it would be really tough to decide which one is better, especially for the fact that Insta has, you know, if you break a lens on an Insta360, you can buy a DIY lens replacement kit. You can do it yourself, put a new lens on where this doesn't have lenses you can replace. And also, Insta's been doing things for a while, so there is a lot of accessories available for it, although a lot of the accessories are probably somewhat interchangeable between the two. I think competition between DJI and Insta360 is just going to make things better for us as motovloggers. We're going to continue to get better equipment. You know, the next Insta360 camera that comes out, probably going to be another year before they even come out with it. But you know, their eyes are going to be on this Osmo 360. They're going to see what's good about it, and they're going to want to do better. So we're going to see a lot of big improvements probably between Insta360 and DJI. If you like my content, don't forget to subscribe and give me a thumbs up if you like my video. I would appreciate that. Thank you guys for watching. Have a good one, and bye-bye.
Step by step, I've walked 100 miles, and I still ain't sure just what I'm trying so hard to find. The night seems longer and the wind blows louder when you wandered so far from home. If I cross your mind, say a prayer.